I do have way too many commander decks, but I did just build a new one. Kotis Mutate. This is technically bracket 2, however this deck might perform better in bracket 3. You're just going to have to feel it out for yourself. There are no game changers, no tutors, no combos, no mass line denial, anything like that. This is just a Voltron Mutate casual commander deck where we are trying to get Kotis out as soon as possible, who is an indestructible. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, exile the top X cards of their library, where X is the amount of damage dealt. You may cast any number of spells with mana value X or less from among them without paying the mana costs. So we're just trying to get free value from our opponents and protect our boy Kotis, who is indestructible, so it's already kind of protected, but make sure, got to give it some hexproof with those Swifty boots, stuff like that. I love Voltron. I think it fits Commander really well, and Mutate works really well in the Commander format as well, because the Commander is still your Commander if you Mutate on top of it, so you still get that Commander damage, you still get the combat damage trigger, you still get indestructible, but on top of that, you can add flying, you can add trample with Sawdust Demolisher, you can add a whole bunch of really cool Mutate triggers. So this guy says, whenever this creature mutates, each opponent sacrifices a creature, and that's every time you mutate. So even the first time, the second time, the third time, it keeps stacking up. So what I like to do is play Kotis on turn 3 after playing a turn 2 ramp spell. We have tons of turn 2 ramp spells. Farseek, Nature's Lore, Rampant Growth. We even have some artifacts, Arcane Signet, Talismans, etc. Simic Signet, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so we get Kotis out on turn 3, and then on turn 4, we can mutate Sawdust Demolisher. We can mutate Otrimi the Ever Playful. We'll have 5 mana on turn 4, so we can mutate the Mind Leecher. We can mutate Chittering Harvester. A couple of these cost 6 mana to mutate, so we can't mutate those. Can mutate Brokos. Can mutate Cavern Whisperer, the Dreamtail Heron, the Pouncing Shore Shark, the Auspicious Derrick is a little bit expensive, etc. So there's a bunch of stuff we can mutate. Okay. And that's going to do 2 things for us. It's going to give our commander more keywords. It's going to pump it up, right? And it might even give it evasive keywords, and we might get some removal. There's another cool thing about having an indestructible commander Voltron strategy. It means you can run a lot of board wipes. Running a lot of board wipes is a very strong strategy in casual, especially when they don't affect any of your things. So we have stuff like Damnation, destroy all creatures. Now our creature is indestructible, and we're only going to have 1 creature. I've made sure of that. We don't have any creatures here that are going to be sticking around other than Steve, but he sacks himself right away. And the other thing we have is another indestructible creature here with the Giggling Skitterspike. There are no other creatures in this list, like no Beast Whisperers, etc., that are going to die to our board wipes. So the plan is play the board wipe, kill everyone's stuff, your stuff is not destroyed, and then you are free to attack your opponents, get a bunch of free stuff off the top of their library, and maybe build a whole new board yourself. So we do have some cool board wipes. If you want to sort my deck by type and tag, I think it is quite useful. I've tagged all the cards in this deck as well. So there are approximately 6 board wipes in this deck. We have Damnation, Extinction Event, Gix's Command, Zimone's Hypothesis, Deadly Tempest, and Blood Money. Now, most of these are pretty standard. We have Damnation, Deadly Tempest, and Blood Money that are just pretty standard. Destroy all creatures, but Blood Money makes treasures. Deadly Tempest loses our opponent's life, and Damnation prevents regeneration. Extinction Event actually kind of a bad card in this deck because we do exile everything, so it's even better than Destroy, which means it will exile our Kotis if we choose the wrong number. However, because we are mutating on top of Kotis, we can sometimes manipulate whether we want our Kotis to have odd mana value or even mana value, depending on how we mutate, right? So this actually could be good in this deck. This one is a board wipe, but only for small things. So this one has 4 modes, but you can choose 2 of the modes. For 5 mana, it's pretty good too. So you can choose 2. You can either put 2 1/1 counters on up to 1 target creature, and it gains lifelink until end of turn. So the 1/1 counters are really good for Kotis. We can make him bigger and also gain a little bit of life, which could be very good. We can also destroy each creature with power 2 or less. That's a mini board wipe right there. We can also return up to 2 creature cards from your graveyard to your hand. That's a little bit of card draw. And each opponent could sacrifice a creature with the highest power among creatures they control. So they're going to be left with almost nothing. This is a pretty good board wipe, and we're not going to be affected at all. Zimon's Hypothesis is pretty good too. You can put a 1/1 counter on a creature, then choose odd or even and return each creature with power of the chosen quality to their owner's hand. So this is kind of like Extinction Event, where we can have a little bit of flexibility here. It might not hit the whole board, but it will hit about half the board, as well as it'll pump up our commander, as well as an instant speed removal option as well. This is instant speed board wipe, which is very unique. So anyway, lots of removal is very good. As far as buffs go, I mean, obviously we have the Glowstone Recluse, which is the mutate that puts +1/+1 counters on it, so that's huge buff potential. We have Blackblade Reforge, which is just a very, very standard equipment where if you have a lot of lands, you will get a lot of +1/+1 pump, and it equips to legendary creatures for only 3. So basically on turn 4, if we have 5 mana, you can play this Blackblade and equip it. Rancor, also really good, just +2/+0 and trample, and it comes back to us sometimes whenever it's put into the graveyard. And Aqueous Form, unblockable, scry 1 when it attacks. Really good. We might not always be able to get through, even if our commander is trample and flying. Still, there might be flying blockers. There might be just large blockers in the air that we can't get through, right? So sometimes a little bit of unblockable goes a long way. Winged Boots, this is kind of like a second Swiftfoot Boots, because Swiftfoot Boots is hexproof, but what's the next best thing of hexproof? It's ward, 4, and flying. That's really good. I like this equipment. It might not be the very best thing, but it is good. Slip Through Space, just such a low downside to including this in your deck. It cantrips. So you pay a blue, you get your card right back after you play it, and it makes your creature unblockable for a turn. It could literally win you a game. Why not throw it in? Downsides are very low. As far as card draw section, we can go over this a little bit. We have Combat Research, another +1/+1 if our creature is legendary, and Ward 1, baby. And whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. So it does a bunch of stuff for us, and it's only 1 mana. Might as well throw it in there. Season of Growth, this is one of the best Mutate tech cards, because Mutate is a spell targeting a creature you control. So this says whenever you cast a spell that targets a creature you control, draw a card, right? So that works with Combat Research, it works with all the auras, works with Mutate, and then also whenever a creature enters under our control, we scry 1, we get a bunch of little free scries as well. As far as other card draw, I have Hunter's Insight and Hunter's Prowess. They're both basically choosing a creature, and whenever that creature deals combat damage to a player, you draw that many cards. We are very committed to getting our commander through and doing lots of damage with it. We give it unblockable, and we can mutate on top of it. So this is just 3 mana, draw 6, probably. It's really good. Hunter's Prowess, kind of the same thing, but 5 mana, and it's a sorcery. The Hunter's Insight's an instant, really good. Hunter's Prowess is a sorcery, but it also gives the creature +3/+3 trample, which is super good, right? We can do this on turn 4 immediately after just playing Kotis, so we can turn Kotis into a 5 power trampler on, going, which is pretty good. We draw 5 cards, and we get to grab 5 cards off the top of our opponent's deck and cast them. So good. Eagle Vision's really good too. Free running is just such a cool mechanic. If we're committed to dealing combat damage with our commander, you can just draw 3 cards for 2 mana. It's really, really strong. Return of the Wild Speaker, we're not running any humans, right? So might as well run this and draw cards equal to the greatest power among non-humans you control. And it also gives everything +3/+3, which might also be a finisher, right? Just such a good card. Might as well throw it in. But you can also draw cards through this one. Whenever this mutates, draw a card. Mind Leecher, whenever it mutates, exile top card of each opponent's library face down. So hidden exile this time, really cool. You can look at and play those cards for as long as they remain exiled. You do need to have the right mana to play it, though. That is the thing. It doesn't say you can mana wash it. So you do need the right mana to play it. That's the only thing. Obviously, Sea Dasher, kind of more card draw here. Parcel Beast, more card draw. Siphon Mine, more card draw. Lifecrafter's Bestiary, more card draw. So this is just Cascader. This is just damage. This guy's really cool. He's $11. You don't need to put this in the deck. He's completely unnecessary. Just put another counter spell or another land in the deck or something if you don't want to buy this guy. But he's really cool. He's indestructible, and whenever he attacks, blocks, or becomes the target of a spell, Mutate is the target of a spell, deals damage equal to its power to each opponent. That's really cool. And it also has 5 mana to Monstrosity 5 it, so it can get 5 +1/+1 counters as well. Just a really cool alternative to Kotis if we want to use this as our base instead of Kotis. Just an alternate plan. For more evasion, we have a couple other things I haven't talked about. Sword Coast Sailor's pretty good. Enchantment Background for 2 mana, very efficient. It's basically this creature's unblockable if it attacks the opponent with the most life. And that's pretty easy. There's going to be one opponent with the most life, so we'll just attack them. Swift Foot Boots, obviously really good. Soul Ring, obviously a staple. Propaganda, really interesting here because we do have one creature that's most likely going to be tapped the whole time because it will be just attacking the whole time. So, like, we don't want to be just attacked for free if we don't have a lot of blockers. Sure, we might get some free blockers off the top of our opponent's deck for free, so we can, like, maybe spam some elves or whatever. But Propaganda is really key to just stopping your opponents from killing you. As you're swinging at them, they're not going to be swinging at you back. So it's just nice. Really nice. As far as interaction, like counterspells and stuff, I don't have that many. Snakeskin Veil, Arcane Denial, Gaia's Gift, Negate, Repulsive Mutations, a pretty cool counterspell that also can buff up your commander with +1/+1 counters. Pretty cool. So I feel like there's a little bit more. Tamio's Safekeeping is not in the interaction section. We'll just add that there. Yeah, we have Snakeskin Veil, Tamio Safekeeping. Yeah, so for 2 1-mana spells here, just gives your creature hexproof, which is insane, right? Hexproof is basically, you can't touch my commander. It already has indestructible, so you can't kill my commander. I just don't want you to touch it. Don't target it with anything. So Arcane Denial, really good for that. Gaia's Gift, Tamio Safekeeping, Negate, Repulsive Mutation, all of those are really good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's like 6 cards that are basically dedicated to like protecting our commander. So that's probably good. That's probably a good amount. Lands, we have 38. I love 38 lands. I proxied a couple OG duels in here. I hope you guys don't mind doing that. It's just nice. Lots of mutate cards, once again, lots of protection, and for ramp, of course, we have quite a bit of ramp. We have 17, but I do count 3 of the lands here, and I do count, like Parcel Beast, which might not count. So, you know, we're pretty close to the right number here of like 10 to 15 to 12-ish, you know, somewhere in there. So we have like Search for Tomorrow, which is one of my favorites, just suspended on turn 1, and it gets you an untapped land, so really good. Wild Growth on turn 1, why not? Lots of turn 2 plays because, again, our commander is a 4-mana card, so we do want to get that out as soon as possible, even if we have to play Simic Signet, and Talismans. To do that, I don't mind. Most of the time, people don't destroy these anyways. We just want to get a commander out as soon as possible, so it's no big deal. Some decent recursion as well. Otrimi can get us back some mutate stuff from our graveyard to our hand. Boneyard Lurker mutates, returns a permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. Brokos can literally just be cast from the graveyard using its mutate ability, so that's pretty cool. As far as removal, we have quite a bit of removal. Dirgebat destroys creatures. Gemrazor destroys artifact and enchantment. Cavern Whisper makes each opponent discard a card. Gigsy's Command is obviously removal, but so is all our board wipes. I guess we don't need all our board wipes into the removal category, but Pouncing Shore Shark bounces back creatures. Souvenir Snatcher snatches their non-creature artifacts, like forever, just fully grabs it forever, like can steal Soul Rings, can steal Swiftfoot Boots, amazing. Chittering Harvester just makes each opponent sacks a creature whenever it mutates, and then Sawdust Demolisher is basically a beast within. It can destroy a non-creature permanent. Not any permanent, non-creature permanent. It can destroy lands, very, very useful. And then this one just makes tokens. So we have a little bit of everything with the Mutate. It's really fun, and I hope you get inspired to build your own version of Kotis. You can literally build them pretty much however you like. There's tons of considering cards that I have considering here, like, you know, we could add Felix 5 Boots, double that combat damage trigger. Could add Ivy to double the mutates. Could add 3 visits. I'm missing a 2-mana ramp that you really should be having. Final Act for another board wipe. Offer You Can't Refuse for more cheap counterspells like Swan Song or Slip Out the Back. Like more good options here. Tons of really good options that I haven't included, like Fierce Guardianship, Force of Will, but those are for a higher bracket. Cyclonic Rift for a higher bracket. Tyvar Stand, really good. Growth Spiral for another 2-mana ramp if you really care about that. Same with the other one, that's a sorcery, Explore. Leyline Axe for Double Strike. Double Strike could be a really good option in this deck too, because it is a combat damage trigger. So if we double combat damage, we're getting 2 triggers. I mean, Favor of the Overbeing is one card that I really want to put into the deck. I just don't have one. It gives it Vigilance and Flying for like 2 mana. It's insane. And +2/+2 because it's green and blue. But there's just so many interesting cards that I haven't included that I just thought I would try this for now. I've played it like 3 times and it's been really fun. So I just thought I would share this with you and see what you guys think. Maybe inspire you guys to build your own Kotis deck with some mutate cards that you have lying around and give it a try for yourself. It's really powerful and it's really fun, and it might even play in a bracket 3 without any bracket 3 cards. It's that powerful. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you guys in the comments below. Please like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, and we'll catch you guys in the next video.